Then you calculate the lead times. Very simple. How do we calculate the lead times? Let's go step by step. 26 days of inventory in front of compounding, we have already seen. 3.3 days of inventory we have calculated in coating. We have calculated it together. 10.4 days of inventory in front of slitting that we had calculated together. 2.7 days of inventory in front of packing we had calculated together. And 8.3 days of inventory we have calculated in front of shipping. And what is the total? Okay, this is a simple mathematics. It's 50.7 days. I'm not asking you to calculate, okay? So process. Now, if you see, this is where is a heart attack exercise, okay? People get heart attack. He said, what are you talking? But this is how in value stream mapping, it is calculated, okay? 120 minutes, 7,200 seconds for compounding is the process time, 0.4 seconds for coating. So compounding, we saw it as a 2-hour process, 0.4 seconds for coating, 0.5 seconds for slicking, 0.75 seconds for packing, and total is what? Almost 120 only, right? So 7201.65 seconds. Now, this process time, which we call as the sum of cycle times, it is just in few seconds, and this is in days. So process cycle efficiency is value added time by total time or process time by lead time. So this is 7201 seconds. 50 days when we convert, we get something like 43 lakh seconds. 43 lakh seconds. And so if you actually calculate, the process cycle efficiency is 0.164%. So in other words, value stream mapping says only almost 0.2% is value adding, remaining 99.8% is non-value adding. Do you agree with this? If you agree, you type agree. If you disagree, you say disagree, okay? From this value stream mapping, we found this company, which is multinational, has got 99.8% as non-value adding and only 0.2% as value adding. Almost agree is a very political answer. Disagree is kind of this. Okay, most of them disagree, okay? But this is how it is. It is not to actually tell that this is only, you have to see in the other way. Instead of saying you have almost everything as non-value adding, you have to say there is a, instead of focusing on cycle times, which is just a small, look at this way. Where will you improve? Will you improve the 7201 seconds further? You'll be stupid if you say that, okay, the compounding take 2 hours, I'll reduce 2 hours to 1 hour. Is it a good project to take? Compounding takes 2 hours cycle time. I reduce it by 50, 2 hours to 1 hour batch time. Is it a good project to take? If you add up all the cycle times, it is just 7201 seconds. But if you add up all the inventory which is sitting, which is converted to time, 43 lakh seconds. 100 times, 99 times more. Okay, so rather than focusing on the process time reduction, we'll have to look at inventory reduction. So if you reduce inventory, now inventory reduction is not to say that I will not allow you to keep more material. That is stupid. Inventory reduction means if I reduce inventory, which inefficiency will show up? If I reduce inventory, let me know which inefficiency will show up, because inefficiency actually manifests in the form of inventory. That is why we gave the example of a boat sailing in water smoothly if the rocks are under the water and not exposed. The moment the water, which is the inventory level, is reducing, it will start rocking against the rock, which is the inefficiency. The first issue. That is where we'll have to break the rocks and not increase inventory. If this is clear on a scale of 1 to 10, give a 9 or 10. Generally, in non-value streams, if you're not done a value stream exercise, your process cycle efficiency is less than 1%. If you've done value stream, even after you do all the improvement projects, there are some research which has said that if you increase by 1% in the value stream, the productivity increases by 10%, 20%, 10 to 20% productivity increases. From if you increase by 3%, it can increase by 50% productivity. Just increasing the value stream by 1% has got at least 10 to 20% increase on the productivity, efficiency, current efficiencies, and look at the impact on the cost. And world class is 30%, which means that 70% non-value adding is still okay. Okay. So this is how we put all the lead times in the box. Okay. And finally, we have put the calculation here. And the tape team, author, date, documentation is written. What are the different times you have seen till now? Cycle time. Okay. What are the other times? Okay. Takt time, lead time, very good. Changeover time, process time. Avinash has written talk time also, talking time. Good, dinner time, okay? So cycle time, changeover time. Now I'm giving all these times because if any one of you can research on all this time and make a presentation and share it in the break time, okay? Okay, power nap time. Okay. Who will share in the group all these different times, just one page for each and every time. I want some volunteers out of these 36 people who are there. It will be useful for others. You can search the internet and copy. Okay, if many people type me, I want all the people to make one presentation on all the times. Thank you very much. So cycle time, lead time you said, throughput time you said, process time you said, run time, somebody said run time, available time, tag time, turnaround time. Did anybody say TAT, TAT, turnaround time? It's used in service industries. Downtime, uptime. You also have this. Somebody said tea time, I said good time, okay? And now we are having some challenging times. All right. Okay, so yesterday somebody was asking, okay, what is available time? So I want to give some overview of available time for next 5-10 minutes. Is that okay? So you have all the time in the world, right? How much time does President of America has? Okay, how much time we all have? See, God has been impartial in giving the time, right? So all the time is 24/7, okay? Out of that, there is a schedule loss, which means that we schedule this not to run. We schedule not to run. Sunday holiday, Sunday off, holiday off, and things like that. And then remaining is called planned production time. And now in the planned production time, the machine is not available due to breakdown and so on and so forth. We will get into the detail. I'm not going into 16 major losses or 6 major losses and 16 losses and all that stuff, okay? I'm making it very simple. I know there are all TPM experts here. And I have also learned TPM from Memakuchi, and we have been doing it day in and day out. But I'm not going to explain in depth of this. Okay, so we call it as a runtime. If it is clear, type super clear SC in the comment box. Then out of runtime, there will be performance loss. I'm supposed to run the vehicle 100 kilometers per hour, but vehicle has got some problem. It can run only at 80 kilometers per hour. Okay, so that's a performance loss. The machine is capable of producing 100 units in an hour. It is producing only 90 units per hour. That is performance loss. So net runtime. From net runtime, it has produced 80 units, but 5 of them are defects. Okay, so fully productive time is only balance, quality loss. Okay, how many of you are clear about this? On a scale of 1 to 10, give a 9 or 10 if you're super clear, okay? Okay, this is how generally in the machines, in TPM concepts, the losses are calculated. I'll use put a different illustration for you to understand. So suppose scheduled production time we say, That's what, because in the earlier slide, we spoke about schedule loss and then planned production time, right? So we start with that. Say scheduled production time is this, and then we have, this is what the planning will schedule for production. But sometimes what happens is, when you have this time available, which the planning department has given to you, the planning department has given to you that this is the time available and it has planned the production for this. But finally, what happens? There will be a startup loss, there will be changeovers, there will be failure, there will be waiting times, and then it will eat into the available time. If you can relate to what I'm saying, type I here in the comment box. And hence, availability is nothing but D by A. The some fraction of it goes as availability loss. Now take this production time is called as actual production capacity. Generally, technically speaking, after taking all that losses of changeover time, this, that, waiting and all that, that's what we call production capacity. Okay, in that itself, there will be some performance loss, right? The machine will run at low speed, there'll be minor stops here and there, and so on and so forth. And hence we call performance loss, which is D by C. If it is super clear, type SC, then we'll go to the next. So actual production, they'll have to do this, but then only few good pieces are produced, and then all this goes in rejections, and finally we have quality loss. And look at this, good pieces is only the effective production time. Is it easy? Type easy in the comment box. I want all of you to feel easy. The whole thing is easy. If people start with overall equipment efficiency is nothing but availability into performance, into quality, and blah, 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 all that stuff, don't get scared, okay? Type super easy. And different people represent in different way. They call calendar time, they call equipment calendar time, they call equipment available time. So as lean practitioners get familiarized with various words, all of them old wine and new bottle, representing in different ways, like we see in Wednesday sessions, PDCA methodology, DMAC methodology, A3 methodology, 8D methodology, radar methodology, all same framework, okay? So when they use different ways for their own convenience of communication, don't get scared, okay? So some people will say calendar time, equipment calendar time, equipment available time, speak about loading time, then running time. In running time, they talk about minor loss and plan time, then ideal time, actual output, ideal output, actual output based on speed losses, and actual output, good output based on waste, and then finally a good output. This is nothing but the previous slide, what we said. So this they call as OEE, laws of efficiency, and this particularly these two, they call it as external or planned laws of efficiency. These are all different ways of representing. All right, so familiarize yourself with the page number 30 of cycle time, value added time, lead time from the book, and then we will talk about future state mapping.